This is so good. Oh my God, this is so good. It's just amazing. Oh my God. Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking food, and we're going to be talking about my favorite breakfast. And what is that? Stick around to find out. So hey, I'm going to be sharing with you one of my favorite breakfasts, and that is the omelet. And not just any omelet today. Today we're doing my favorite summertime omelet. And it's a summertime omelet because it involves fresh tomatoes. Now you do this with store-bought tomatoes, I'm sorry, it's not going to be as good. It's got to be fresh tomatoes. We're going to be using some great heirloom tomatoes today. And let's get started, shall we? So first thing I'm going to be doing is getting my eggs ready. Now I'm doing 2 eggs, and this is a bariatric breakfast, right? 2 eggs, about 3 ounces of eggs, and you'll see the calorie information down below as we put this omelet together and see where it ends up. But this is a pretty overall low calorie, high protein breakfast that really sticks with you for a long time. So let's get the eggs ready. So I'm doing 2 eggs, and always be sure to crack your eggs on a flat surface. If you do it on the edge here like this, it's going to introduce bacteria into the egg and then into your omelet. So flat surface, put it in there. Egg number 2. There we go. Now, always put salt in it. You're going to see some people say, oh God, don't put salt in before you mix it or whatever. It doesn't make any difference in the long run. I'm just going to use a fork. I'm not going to use a blender because I don't like putting a whole lot of air into my thing. And let's mix this up. Now, the key to this is you're not going around in circles, because that just kind of flops things around. You're going back and forth to really break up that egg white. You don't want any whites, stringy bits. Alright. That's pretty good. I've got my pan warming up here. This is a carbon steel pan. I love carbon steel. Once it's seasoned, it is totally non-stick, holds its heat really well, and there's just so many things I love about it. It is my favorite pan of all time. So you may want to use non-stick. That's perfectly fine too. So I have this heating up right now on medium heat. We'll probably lower that down once we get our egg in there. And we'll put a little bit of ghee in there. Now I use ghee instead of butter. You can certainly use butter or something else. And yes, I know this adds fat. There's not a whole lot of fat that's going to be added into the egg though. And it's about a teaspoon of ghee for it to cook on instead of full butter. Now, why I like ghee, it has a really high smoke point. I really like kind of the buttery, kind of browned butter flavor that it has. So I let that heat up just a little bit, and now we're going to pour in our egg. Swish that around a bit. Alright, we're going to pull in the edges a little bit. We're going to swish some of that around in there. Now these are pretty thin when you're only using 2 eggs. This is a 12-inch skillet, so I keep it pretty thin here. I'm going to turn off the heat now. I'm just going to let that kind of cook into my egg a little bit. Alright, now tomato. These are a couple different types of heirlooms. Added a little pepper onto them. And then the only other ingredient we're putting in here is goat cheese. And one of the nice things about goat cheese is it actually melts without cooking the egg, overcooking the egg. And I'm telling you, this contrast between the goat cheese and these super sweet tomatoes is just amazing. So we're going to take this little edge up, we're going to flip, and I really like these, I use these fish turners a lot because they're so thin, they get right under everything, and I can just flip things up. Oopsie! I'll just eat that. Now, this is obviously not a French omelet, this is more of a Western or country style omelet. And I've got my extra wide flipper here. We'll just give that a little turn. And we're looking beautiful. Grab a plate. And it looks huge, right? Looks massive. But remember, this is only 2 eggs, tomatoes, a little bit of goat cheese. You can see the total calorie information on the screen. And that took no time at all to make, right? Super quick. You can do this in the morning. Any omelet, if you want to add more things to it. Oh my God. I am so serious. This is so good. You have the tanginess of the goat cheese. You've got the sweet of the tomatoes, these fresh tomatoes. It's just amazing. God. I could eat this every day. And pretty much once our tomatoes are ripe in our garden, I do eat it every day. Some other alternatives to this. Sometimes I'll have this with some asparagus, mix that in as well. I'll cook that first in the pan, mix it in. Goes really great with this as well. But this is a perfect kind of early morning bariatric breakfast. Not the first few weeks after surgery, but definitely after you're eating normalish foods, especially after the VSG. And so there you have it, the bariatric breakfast of my choice, the tomato and goat cheese omelet. Until next time, take care.